I apologize if my words feel fragmented or chaotic. English is not my first language, but neither is heartbreak, and yet here I am, speaking it fluently. 11 years. That's how long my wife and I have been intertwined. Two souls bound by love, laughter, and the kind of understanding that makes the world outside feel like background noise. She has always been my person, my soulmate. From this love, our daughter was born, a living, breathing testament to the depth of our bond. But love alone, I've come to realize, is not an impenetrable shield. We live far from home, in a country where every street feels foreign, where the language feels like borrowed words on an unfamiliar tongue. I adapted, found hobbies, built distractions. But her, she never truly settled. No friends, no escapes, just an echo of the woman she once was. So I encouraged her, pushed her, even. She's stunning, always has been, and her voice carries the kind of melody that lingers in the air long after the song ends. Why not share it? I told her. Make videos. Show the world. I knew men would flood her comments, that they'd admire her in ways that made my stomach tighten, but I trusted her. Completely. I helped her set everything up, watching as the numbers climbed, thousands of followers. Endless admiration. She was glowing. But I was blind. Christmas arrived, and we returned home for the holidays. That's when it started the shift, the unraveling. She asked if I'd mind if she went out with friends, nights filled with laughter and freedom. I was thrilled for her. She never had that kind of social life where we lived, and I wanted this for her. I wanted her to feel alive. But the worst wounds are the ones inflicted with your own blessing. When we returned, I stumbled upon something that gnawed at my gut like a sickness. A simple Facebook post. Her best friend, the one she had supposedly been out with, had been performing those nights. Every single one. A pit formed in my stomach. My hands turned to ice. I didn't say anything. Not at first. Instead, I did what any man with a whisper of doubt and a heart already bleeding would do. I dug. And the deeper I went, the more jagged the truth became. She had met someone, some faceless admirer from her growing list of followers. And while I sat at home, smiling at the thought of her rekindling friendships, she was losing herself in the arms of a stranger. 5 nights of betrayal. And every time she walked through the door, she carried the scent of someone else's lies, and I was fool enough to call it happiness. I found out. I shattered. I wept in ways I didn't know a man could weep. She was my life, my home. And yet, in one reckless decision, she had burned it all to the ground. Then, suddenly she was crying, sobbing, pleading, her words tumbling over themselves like they could somehow rewrite what had already been done. She regretted it. She never meant to hurt me. She didn't want to lose me. She loved me. She loved me. And I, being the fool that I am, couldn't bear to watch her crumble. Even after she destroyed me, I wanted to shield her from the weight of her own guilt. So I lied. I did the same, I told her. While traveling for work, I was unfaithful too. Her tears slowed. A shift. A quiet, selfish relief in her eyes. The burden of guilt had been divided, and suddenly she wasn't alone in the crime. I took that pain for her, held it inside like a toxin. And then I forgave her. If she could forgive me this fictional sin I had confessed, then I would forgive her too. And just like that, our marriage was reborn. In the past few weeks, we have become something new, something eerily reminiscent of when we first fell in love. She clings to me like she's afraid I'll vanish. She whispers I love you with a desperation that wasn't there before. We laugh, we touch, we exist like two souls discovering each other for the first time. But I can't forget. I dream about it. I wake up gasping, my mind replaying the nights she spent wrapped in someone else's embrace. I see her differently now, even as she holds me tighter than ever before. It's killing me. I barely eat. I smoke like the nicotine can somehow burn away the memories. I spiral deeper into this void, clutching onto the ruins of a love that I don't want to let go of, because letting go means breaking my family apart. And yet, I wonder, am I losing my mind? She has no idea how much I love her. She has no idea that despite everything, she is still my greatest weakness. I just needed to get this out. I have no friends to tell, no ears willing to hear the weight of this confession. So here it is, thrown into the abyss, hoping that maybe somewhere someone understands. My wife cheated. I lied and told her I had done the same to ease her guilt. Now we are closer than ever, but I'm quietly falling apart.